Hello you guys, and welcome to this thriller reading vlog. I'm popping on really quick. I actually have finished the vlog, but I realized I literally and simply just started reading thrillers and didn't film any sort of formal introduction to this vlog video. But because it is spooky season, spooky month, I wanted to really lean into the thrillers because I never read thrillers. And there were a few on my list that I really wanted to get to and read, so I thought I would, read them in vlog style. So there's five thrillers that I read and have been reading throughout the month of October. And those are The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. Have not read a Riley Sager book, and I wanted to read this last year and never got around to it. So I have this. I also have The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson, which I just feel like is such a classic favorite amongst people who love thrillers. So I have this one. I have had both of these two on my radar since I've been seeing a lot of buzz about these lately. So I have None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, as well as The Last Word by Taylor Adams. And then the fifth and final book, I decided to listen to another Riley Sager book, and it is his newest, which I believe is called The Last One Left, The Only One Left. So those are the five thrillers that I'm going to be reading throughout this vlog. I hope you guys are interested. If so, stay tuned. And also let me know what thrillers you recommend I read next. Let a girl know in the comments below. But other than that, let's get into the vlog. Good morning, you guys. I am sitting getting ready for work, and I wanted to update on The House Across the Lake really quick just because I am so excited to keep reading this, and immediately when I get home from work today I want to just jump right in, and I feel like I'm gonna forget to update, but I feel like I'm at a good stopping point because I am at the now section. So the part that I've read now there's like a before section, and now I've made it to the now section. So I am at page 94, and I am really loving this so far. I feel like I am always really nervous to read thrillers because I feel like I get scared super easily. So I'm always like, I'm nervous to read thrillers. But I really love the setting of this one. I love a lake house setting. I feel like the author does a really good job of like making it, like setting it up to be like kind of creepy, but like not too creepy. But if you guys are unfamiliar with this book, which I'm sure you're not because I feel like this book was so popular last year, you are following Casey Fletcher, who is a widow now and basically really struggling with alcohol addiction. So her mom sends her up to her lake house to kind of get away for a little bit, and she becomes obsessed with like watching the couple from across the lake. Even though I've only read 93 pages, I feel like I'm still like really just getting into the story. Like I feel like I know nothing at all, but it's kind of like setting the tone of Casey meeting Catherine and her husband Tom, who live in the house across the lake, and the couple that she is watching. And I don't obviously want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm really enjoying it so far, and I feel like I'm getting too into it to the point where like I'm trying to guess everything that's gonna happen and literally questioning everything. Like I'm like, is this like an unreliable narrator? Like, I don't know, it's possible. And I feel like it's being laid out to like make it very like, ooh, the husband did it, but like, do we actually think the husband did it? Because that would be way too obvious. But I just wanted to do a really quick check-in. I know I'm only 90 pages in, but I felt like it was a good pause point, and I'm super excited to continue to read this and continue on with reading thrillers this month. I've officially finished House Across the Lake, and I'm so sorry for really not checking in much at all. But I basically just like binged this book. I got to a point where I thought I had like figured out the whole mystery, and then like something happened. I was like, oh my gosh, I got this right. And then more things happened, and I will say like the end of this book, or like the plot twist, or like just what happened, like I was a little bit disappointed because it's just like, oh, I don't want to say kind of stupid, but like just not really what I wanted to happen. I was like, okay, like how is anyone supposed to guess that? Like honestly. So I was a little bit like, I was loving it, and then we got to the last like 100 pages and I was like, really? Like, that's really, I still gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Like, I still really enjoyed it. I was still super entertained. I loved the setting on the lake. And overall, like, I enjoyed it, but I was just a little bit disappointed by the ending. And if you know, you know. I'm like, really? That's really the route we're going? But nevertheless, I've finished House Across the Lake. And so I am going to quickly share a quick book haul, some book mail. Not book mail, but like my box of the month, my box of books of the month. My book of the month box finally arrived, and I actually have 5 books in there, which I'm so excited about. I was at Target the other day. I can't remember who I recently heard talking about The Kingmaker, and this has been a book that is has been like on my radar for a little bit, and I thought it was going to be like a mafia romance, but whoever was talking about was saying like this is more like Scandal, like the show Scandal in a book, and instantly I was like sold. Olivia Pope is like my idol. I remember like loving that show back in the day, so I stopped at Target and went and picked up The Kingmaker. I believe it's a duology. I think there's 2 books. I think just 2 books. I could be very wrong about that, but I am really excited about this. It sounds like it's two political families, and I know there's like assassinations and stuff that I'm like, all I had to hear was it's like the show Scandal, and I was sold. So I did purchase this book. I don't think I'll read this in October, maybe November though, maybe November. So I'm gonna toss this on my TBR cart, but wanted to share that. But my book of the month box came. I already like took everything out because I literally couldn't wait. But I was so excited because I ended up purchasing these 2 thrillers. So I have The Last Word by Taylor Adams, as well as None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I feel like I've heard so much about both of these books lately, and I knew I wanted to pick them up and read them in October. So I'm gonna post another Instagram poll and see which one you guys want to have me read next. But while that Instagram poll is polling, I am going to read The Kind Worth Killing because I am really interested in reading this book. So I'm gonna read this, and then after I finish this, I will pick up whatever you guys decide for me to read next. I want to read both of those books in October. And I will say I also just downloaded another Riley Sager book, the new one, The Only One Left. And I think I'm going to try and listen to that because I want to just get in all the thrillers. I want to get all the thrillers in the month of October. So anyway, I do anticipate I will read both of these. I can't decide if I just want to do like a full thriller vlog, or if I just want to do like 3 and then put it up. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Well, I'll also have the one I'm listening to. Maybe I'll try and get through. I'm going to listen to The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I'm going to read The Kind Worth Killing. Whatever you guys decide for this, I'm going to read first, but I'm going to also read the other one. So maybe I'll just try and get 5 thrillers in one vlog. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But I have 3 other books that I picked up, so I had to pick one of the like listed books for book of the month in order to get the other 4 books that I wanted, which I was kind of annoyed about because there wasn't a book that really stood out to me. So I ended up going with Starling House. Starling? Yeah, Starling House, which is like a gothic, like there's like a haunted house. All she left behind were dark rumors in her home. I don't know if I'll end up reading this. Probably not this month because I have so many other things that I'm trying to read. Like I have my TBR that I have, then I have all my thrillers that I want to read. So I don't know if I'm going to get around to this. Maybe we'll wait till next year, but I did pick this one up, which if I didn't say, you guys, so The Last Word is about someone who like, I think goes away to, I don't know if she goes away, but all I know is she is reading books and she leaves a 1-star review for an author. And then I think he like basically tries to come murder her. Could be very wrong on that. And then None of This Is True is about 2 girls are celebrating their 45th birthday and they run into each other at a local pub, realize their birthday sisters. I think they have like the exact same birthday. And one of them runs a podcast. The other one wants to get on the other gal's podcast. And I know like there's like obsession involved. I'm like, I think this is like a psychological thriller, and the people that I've seen read and review this say like they finished the book and they're like, the title's so fitting, like None of This Is True, because you like don't know what to believe. So I feel like it could be like one of those books that leaves you feeling like almost empty inside. Like I remember reading Gone Girl and I was like, is this really how this book is ending? Like, I don't know how to feel. So it makes me nervous because I feel like I have like an unsettled feeling after reading those books, but they're always like so good as well. The two other books that I really wanted to pick up from Book of the Month were The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling, as well as The Ex Hex. I think it goes The Ex Hex, then The Kiss Curse. And I just thought these would be really fun witchy books for October. I feel like I heard so many great things about these two last year, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick these up and try and get these read in October as well. So that is my book mail. Again, I'm gonna post that Instagram poll, but in the meantime, I'm going to pick up The Kind Worth Killing. This one is about a man whose flight is delayed. Ted Severson's flight is delayed. He meets a girl in like the airport bar, which I love that setting, that's awesome. And then we find out that his wife, like he's dealing with infidelity on his wife's end. He admits that he wants to murder her. And Lily, the girl he meets in the bar, wants to help. And I'm like, twisted. But I'm going to go edit some vids for my other channel, and then I will sit down and start The Kind Worth Killing today. Also, shameless plug, if you're not following me on Instagram, follow me so that you guys can vote on what books you want me to read. Because I do like to post 2 books and have you guys help me decide on my reads. So anyway, I'm gonna go edit. I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Okay, you guys, I just woke up. It's so early in the morning. I know I'm looking so tired, but last night I got to part 2 in The Kind Worth Killing, and I knew if I kept reading, I would not be able to stop all night, because I have a feeling we are gonna be taking a serious turn at part 2. And I will say, as I've been reading through part 1, so one of the quotes on the back says Gone Girl on speed, and I remember when I read Gone Girl, like the last 30 pages, I started to sweat as I was reading, because I was like, no, 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 this cannot be how this book ends. This cannot be how this book ends. And then the book ended that way, and I was like, oh my goodness. Just such a good psychological thriller. So I haven't really felt like the psychological thrilling aspects in part 1, but what just happened in the last chapter, I'm like, okay, what sort of turn are we gonna take? I've been trying to figure it out, the first part, trying to guess, and I'm sitting here blank. I literally have no freaking clue what's gonna happen. I've really been enjoying it so far. I will say Lily, who he meets, the girl that he meets at the airport bar, I'm like, I did not really like Lily. I feel like she, are we supposed to be rooting for her? I'm not sure, but I'm just not really liking her, but we'll see if that changes. And I'm just so curious to see what is in store this second half of the book. So I have my Celsius as well as my tea, and every morning I tell myself I'm gonna drink my tea first before we jump into the Celsius, but cheers. We're literally 2 sentences in, and I'm already like, okay, what? Okay, I just had to sit here rereading this sentence 4 times, because now we're 2 more sentences down, so we're 4 sentences in, and I'm like, what? Okay, I'm setting that up a little bit. Okay, I have read a few pages into part 2, and I feel like what they're setting up has happened. I feel in my head has not actually, I feel like we're being deceived. I feel like it's not the actual thing that happened, but we'll see. We'll see. It's just a thought. It's just a thought. There's part of it that I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, I've officially decided that I dislike/hate Miranda much more than Lily. The girl is batshit cray. you guys, here for a quick little check-in. I was at my mom's house this weekend, so I didn't really check in at all while I was there, but while there, I finished The Kind Worth Killing, and I had so much fun reading this. I will say, while reading this, it was like one of those where like I literally like could feel my heart pounding and my heart racing, and I like had to know what was gonna happen next. I will say part one, so this is broken up into 3 separate parts. Part one I felt like was the slowest, and then like part 2 and 3 was like I did not want to put this book down. The one complaint I have about this, and I feel like I need to go back and read Gone Girl like now, but one of the like quotes on this says Gone Girl on speed. And I like still to this day can remember the feeling that I had reading like the last 50 pages of Gone Girl, and just like the anxiety and like the emotions after I finished the book, and how unsettled I was after finishing the book, being like, oh my gosh, like I very specifically remember that. I don't even remember when I read Gone Girl. I feel like maybe it had to have been in like 2013. 2014? I don't remember. When did Gone Girl come out? I'm curious. Okay, wait. Hey Siri, when was Gone Girl published?
Gone Girl was released on October 3rd, 2014.
Okay, that would make sense. I must have read it in 2014. So it's been almost a decade since reading it. I feel like I need to go back and read it, because like I had clearly not read many books at all back then. I mean, I had, but like also not. Now I've read so many more, but I also haven't read a thriller in so long, and now I've read like 2 in a row, and I'm listening to one. And so what I'm getting at is I don't really draw the parallels from what I remember from Gone Girl to this book. Like I didn't have the same feelings about the ending of Gone Girl as I did this book. I will say I definitely did see one of the things that happened here coming, like definitely did see one of the things coming, but the last sentence of this book, okay, that cliffhanger, that was good, and definitely had me feeling like, okay, what's gonna happen next? And I guess there's now a book, The Kind Worth Saving, which I like kind of want to read, but also I'm like not like, I don't feel like I need to like immediately jump in and go read it. I did give this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It wasn't a total 5-star for me. I haven't read a lot of thrillers in my day, and like I said, it's been almost a decade since I read Gone Girl, but I think Gone Girl is the only thriller book that I've read that I've rated 5 stars, but I've read probably less than 10 thrillers in my entire life. So that is thriller number 2. Speaking of reading thrillers slash listening, so driving to my mom, she lives about an hour and a half away, I started listening to, I'm pulling it up here, another one from Riley Sager. I started listening to his newest, The Only One Left, and I listened to it on the way back as well, and I've been listening to it as I've been like tidying up my apartment. And so I have 2 hours and 32 minutes left. I'm listening to it on 2 times speed. I'm at chapter 28 out of 44, and I had to like stop myself to sit down to like film this update because I don't want to stop listening. If I was reading this, I think I would have found the first few chapters a little bit slow to get into, but listening to it, like I am loving listening to it. I will say it has a very gothic setting. So in this book, we were following Kit, who has recently been hired as a caretaker for Lenora, who basically everyone thinks Lenora murdered her entire family many, many years ago. And Kit is back she was recently on leave at work for 6 months because people are blaming her for the death of one of her patients. And so anyway, she takes on this role as Lenora's caregiver, and Lenora has suffered like multiple strokes over the years, and she only has movement of her left hand. And so the way that she and Kit can communicate is Kit will ask her like yes or no answers, and Lenora will tap either twice for no or once for no, twice for yes. My camera is gonna die. And then they're also like typing out a story. I've heard a lot of people say the last like 10% of this book is just, there's so much and it's so ridiculous, but right now I'm loving it and it feels like such a good just like mystery, and I'm loving that aspect of it. So I hope the last like 10% doesn't ruin it for me with being like just too like out there, but that's what I've heard. And I will say the other Riley Sager book that I just finished, The House on the Lake, I was like loving it, and then like the ending was just like a little bit like too, I almost want to say like far-fetched for me. So I'll be really curious to see what I think about the ending of this, but I'm really enjoying myself with this one. It's just a really, really entertaining time, and I like that it's not like this super like horror by any means. It's like a really fun mystery to follow, and I feel like everybody has those tales of like, you know, the house where the family was murdered, and it's just like bringing me back to like those high school days where I was like, oh, like this one person lives in like this haunted house. So I am really enjoying it so far. I don't know if I will quite finish it tonight because there is another book I want to start tonight, but I could see myself just feeling like I can't stop. So we'll see. Next check-in though, I will let you guys know how it ended, like without spoiling it, and my thoughts on that. But so far, really enjoying this. I will say, with all these thrillers, I'm feeling like maybe I need like a mental break and just like a cozy romance, like just a romance, like back to my roots of a romance. That's kind of how I felt, but also just like so excited to like keep reading thrillers. I'm having so much fun. I'm like, why haven't I read more thrillers? So anyway, you guys, my camera battery is about to die. I will check in with you guys when I finish listening to The Only One Left. All right, you guys, it is dark and gloomy out. The mood is just right to be starting another thriller, and you guys voted on Lisa Jewell's None of This Is True. I have read...
Let me say something to this.
Sure.
I can't believe it. Hold on. I can't believe you guys voted for None of This Is True. I thought you were gonna vote for The Last Word, and it seems like a really good book.
So I have read the first 25 pages of this, admittedly, and already it's giving like very creepy, like just like psychologically creepy vibes, and I am super excited about it. If you haven't heard of this book, we are following Josie and Alex, and it is both of the gals' birthdays. They're both turning 45 on the same day, and Josie sees Alex at this pub that she's out to dinner at with her husband, and she like basically is like just enamored by this girl and like her life, and then she starts like insta stalking her and finds out she has her own podcast where she brings women on the podcast and they have like very inspirational stories, and like I've learned all of this in the first 25 pages. And I just feel like the obsession on like Josie's end is gonna be really interesting. I'm super excited to read this. I just plan on binging this tonight. It's a nice cozy night. I'm gonna read on the egg chair for a little bit, and then I will probably take a bath and read some more and just keep reading. Just keep reading. I'm not feeling the very best, so it's a perfect night to just sit back, relax, and read a good thriller. Okay, the patio's looking more fall appropriate. The leaves are finally starting to change. So pretty. Ignore how ridiculous my braid looks. Hello, you guys. I just got back from my mom's house. I was there today painting pumpkins. I hope I have a little bit of footage to share with you guys. I had so much fun painting pumpkins, but I have made it a good more chunk of the way through. None of this is true, but I wanted to wait to like read the end till I was on camera in case there's any like, just to like catch my reaction at the end of the book. I have less than 100 pages left. Where am I? I'm on page 284, and there are, oh, there's a part 4 I just realized in here. There are 366 pages, so I have about 80 pages left. It is Sunday night. Sunday Night Football starts in about an hour, which I would like to watch the Sunday Night Football game. It is the Buffalo Bills and the Giants tonight. So I'm hoping to get through this before that. I don't know if I timed that right. I'm like literally an hour. So we'll see how much I can get through. But I want to finish this book tonight because it is so good. I forgot. I'm like, what was I even saying? First of all, Josie, like I literally can't stand. She is giving me the vibes that the wife in Gone Girl was. This is giving me like Gone Girl vibes in terms of it's just like a psychological thriller. It's not like gory so far, but this girl Josie is just not giving me the good vibes. I mentioned this in my last check-in, but I like am like, if this is reading, like I feel like as I'm reading this, the parts where it talks about like the Netflix documentary, I literally feel like I'm watching a documentary. So I am really loving the way that this book is written. And I don't want to give away, I don't feel like I can say too much without spoiling anything, but I'm into part 3 right now, and it's just, I feel like the last 80 pages here are going to just whip by. Not that the first 280 pages didn't. I feel like this has been really difficult to put down, but I feel like it's really going to be like one thing after another, after another, after another. We'll see if I'm right, but I'm gonna start reading. I do have noodles that I'm currently cooking for dinner, but we're gonna see if I can finish this before the Sunday Night Football game starts. We're down to the last 16 pages, and let me tell you, my heart is racing. That is not necessarily how I thought it was gonna end. And I feel like I'm left feeling empty. Like we actually got no answers at all. And I felt like I was gonna give it like a 4.5 rating, but like literally the last like paragraph of the book, I feel like, I'm like, am I happy with this book? I think it was a great, great book. It was super fun to read. But I feel like I need to sit with this one for a little bit before I like actually pick a rating. I really enjoyed it, but I also feel like no questions were really answered. Really good book though, really entertaining. I did really enjoy this one. And that just means we have one more thriller left to read for this vlog. Okay, the last thriller I have to read is The Last Word, and I don't think I'm gonna start this tonight. I actually think I just need to read like a fluffy romance. Like I feel like I've read, I haven't read a romance book in like a minute, it feels like, and I feel like I just need a fluffy little romance to like lift my spirits, and then we'll read The Last Word. I'm sure I'll start this in the next day or two, but my mind needs a break. It just needs a little bit of romance. But this will be the last book that we are reading for this vlog. Hey you guys, here for a quick check-in for The Last Word. I am already on I'm on chapter 25, page 218. I wanted to check in earlier, but honestly, like so much is happening in this book, but I feel like if I say anything that is happening, it will be a spoiler. And yet, while so much is happening and I feel like it's gonna be a spoiler, I'm also like, how is this book going to end? Like there's so many things going through my mind, and I'm like, I feel like I have no idea what the actual plot twist is gonna be. I thought I had it figured out, and I thought I was so sly, but I was definitely wrong. At least as of right now, I was wrong in my original thoughts on this. I still have one kind of thought on what I think the plot twist might be, but like, who knows? Probably will be wrong about that. This is definitely a little bit different than the other thrillers that I have read in this vlog. This definitely has some more like just gruesome descriptions, but it's also just so different. I really like just the whole story of this. If you guys have not heard what this is about, I feel like there's so much I can't say without ruining it, but essentially this girl is house sitting for someone, and she is reading, she's like super into like reading murder mysteries or just like thrillers, horrors, whatever it might be. And she reads this thriller and just didn't like it, so she leaves a 1-star review on Amazon, and then the author messages back and is like, please take down your 1-star review, blah blah blah. And she doesn't. They kind of go back and forth a little bit, and then after leaving that 1-star review, she's noticing like weird things happening where she's house sitting. She's also dealing with like a bunch of grief from a lot of things that have happened in her life, and there's just like a lot of like weird things going on. But that's like the first like 50 pages, and then we get into like everything else, and it is just so fast paced. It took everything in me to like even pause to like film an update, and now I'm like, I do need to film a couple videos for my main YouTube channel, and I'm like, I just kind of want to finish this book. I also need to go for a walk before it gets dark out, and I need to go for a walk because I've been so bad about working out and doing the walks, and I want to get walks in before it gets cold. That's why I have my big fluffy sweater on so I can go for a warm walk. But I am really loving this, but it's definitely like different. But it is very thrilling and very bingeable and very hard to put down. I don't think I'll check in with anything else until I finish this book and we can kind of recap this video. But because I feel like I just like can't say anything without ruining it. So it is what it is. Yeah, all right, you guys, I'm gonna go finish this book, and the next time I see you, we will be wrapping up this vlog. Okay, you guys, it is a few hours later and I have finished The Last Word. Oh my goodness, was this a wild ride? Like, I feel like I had whiplash while reading this, and it was so good. It was so good. Definitely like a lot different than any of the thrillers that I personally have read, and keep in mind, I've barely read any thrillers at all. I really like this. I feel like I haven't read a lot of thrillers, like I said, but I feel like for thrillers, I have to give this like a 5-star in my thriller ratings. But like, I feel like it's different for thrillers because I don't necessarily have like a 5-star feeling like I want to read it again, because I obviously already know what has happened. But like, my adrenaline was pumping. I was caught off guard by the end. Like, I feel like so actually what I thought I had predicted but then didn't, I actually did predict, and then I did predict another thing, but then like so much else was coupled with that like I wasn't expecting or didn't see coming, and it was just so good. The last how many pages was this? Basically the last like 100 pages, it was just like literally you were learning something new on like every page, and it was just so crazy, so wild, such a bingeable book, you guys. There is some things that I was like, oh, like as I was reading, I was like, oh. The author does a really good job in this book of like making you like think you know the ending, but then like also like at the same time being like, well, is that gonna, like the whole time, literally one page I would be like, okay, I'm thinking this, and then I would read the next page and be like, oh, okay, no, never mind, and then I would read another page and be like, oh yeah, and then no. It was such a fun time to read. I highly recommend this one. I think this is my favorite thriller that I read. I'm gonna film a separate like wrap up clip. I have so much to do and it's already so late at night, and I have to get up early and I have to present this. I have to present at work tomorrow, so I'm gonna go to bed and then we're gonna wrap this up a different day. But I had so much fun reading these thrillers, and it makes me want to like at least read one at least one thriller a month now. I'm not as scared of them. And I had so much fun. But as I was saying, I think this is my favorite one that I read, which is kind of shocking. But now I want to go read Gone Girl again. This was not like Gone Girl at all. But I'm still like sitting like, oh my gosh, like this is what, like this, I felt like this at the end. I was like, what is going on? Complete whiplash. Such a good book. Kept me on my toes. So good. Just highly recommend reading this one from Taylor Adams. Okay, you guys, I've officially finished reading all 5 thriller books, and I have to say I had so much fun reading these thrillers. I'm glad that I read 5. Like, I'm like, I didn't think I could do it. I thought maybe I would read 2 or 3. I am so glad to have gotten through 5 thrillers. Just to recap, we started by reading Riley Sager, The House Across the Lake. I did enjoy this book. I did enjoy it. I did. The ending, I was like, but I did actually really enjoy reading this one. This was a fun one. Definitely do want to read more Riley Sager. Also read The Kind Worth Killing, and I feel like I hyped this one up too much in my mind to be like an exact replica of like the feelings I had while reading Gone Girl. But I also did really enjoy this one. I would say of all of them, this one might be the most forgettable of the vlog. Might be. Then I read Riley Sager. Is it the only one left? This one. And I really enjoyed listening to that one. I binged that one so quickly. I really, really liked that one. I probably liked that one better than I liked House Across the Lake. So I'm really glad that I got to listen to that. Then we read None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, and I really enjoyed this one as well. I will say I was left I don't know if I was disappointed in the end, but I was just feeling empty in the end. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to like think. But the reading experience for this book was so much fun. It truly was so bingeable and really felt like I was watching a Netflix documentary at certain points within this book. So I really had a good time reading this one. And then finally, I read The Last Word, which was so thrilling. Again, very bingeable. I loved the writing of this one too. And this is one where like you were constantly like kept on your toes. And I feel like when you felt like you figured it out, then it was like you half figured it out, but like other things that you never expected happened. And I was just so impressed with this one as well. So overall, none of these books like let me down. Like overall, we had a really good experience with all the books in this vlog. I again would love to know, what thrillers do you recommend next? I'd love to read at least like 1 thriller a month now going forward, now that I know they're not as scary that I've hyped them up to be in my mind. I'm sure some of them are, but I really had a great time reading these books. So let me know what thrillers I should read next. But thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch this vlog. I hope that you enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.